Welcome to UFC Octagonside reaction with myself, John Gooden, Danny Outlaw Hardy, Hall of Famer Forrest Griffin.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Happy New Year to you too. Well, this is where we kick back after a show, try and gather our thoughts.
Yep, in the gym next to the hydro pool.
Yeah, hydro pool there. What a shame that's not open.
You guys can't see it, but it's there. Just trust us.
It's there. It's echoing through there. So, first of all, then let's have a talk about. Well, we've got to go to the main event. Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Still. Forrest, what did you make of that fight?
Obviously, there's nothing at all wrong with the performance. When there was a clinch, you could see she planned to go to the back. She drug her back right to the fence and used that as a point of, she got judo thrown in the head and arm a couple times, but she scrambled up. The only complaints I have about her performance is she didn't give Jessica some props for being tough.
Yeah, she never likes to give too much credit.
She should have mentioned that Pena was a tough girl taking the fight. Did a great job and definitely in favor of the stoppage.
Yeah.
I didn't know, at the end of the round when the blood was like,
Yeah, and you saw Jessica wince as soon as that elbow landed.
Yeah.
She's so tough, though.
She is.
Oh, was it Lisa Ellis that she had it was a bloodbath as well.
Yeah.
So she's been in those kind of fights before.
The difference was the hand speed, though.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see maybe a different game plan from Pena, like 3-4 punches, clinch. 1, 2, 3. You cannot throw one punch against Joanna because even if it hits her, she throws 3 or 4 and moves, just like they teach you to in boxing.
But I think even from the first jab that Jessica threw, it was so illuminating how different the speed was in that striking.
Yeah. No, well, she's been doing it for how long? So many years.
Yeah.
Trained under Ernesto Hoost as well, so that's going to make a big difference.
Yeah.
And even when she was cutting weight,
you mentioned that the leg kicks.
But even when she was cutting weight and she was hitting pads, she's still super fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who beats her. I really don't.
She was, one punch away from maybe losing to Claudia Gadelha?
Yeah.
I think she's improving,
I'd like to see that rematch. I'd like to see that rematch.
I just put it out there because that was a very close fight.
Yeah.
And without, what was it, an uppercut?
It was the uppercut that dropped Gadelha.
Without the uppercut that drops her, she doesn't necessarily win that fight.
Yeah.
I do think that she's an evolving fighter, though.
She did, and she did win the fight. Hey, this is an after party. This is the what if type deal.
God, if Chuck Liddell had not landed that overhand right, it would have been a very different fight.
It's true. Yes.
We said at the end of the broadcast,
a different fight,
it would have been a different fight.
Yeah.
She's 3 years into her mixed martial arts career.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Scary. I wish I was good. Well, I wish I'd have been that good at some point in my career.
Yeah, no, me too. Well, we were talking about that. What struck me is you're fighting somebody that's really good at judo and jiu-jitsu, body awareness, etc. The way when she clinched, she went to the fence. She had a game plan, and she didn't forget it. Like when the bright lights came on, and when she's like, "Oh, this is what I know to do." She just did it.
You guys have seen a lot of champions. She seems very comfortable as a champion as well. You've been here fight week.
I love it.
She's great. She's great with the media. She's great as as an ambassador for the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
She could throw her beaten opponents some props, but
How difficult is it in that moment though? First title defense to kind of be so aware of all the people that you need to speak about. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Nah, hey, I don't know. I'm just kind of a nice guy. I don't, there's a mentality that John Jones has, that she has, that Ronda has. And it really is the mentality, of that champion mentality. She's not really worried about other human beings because she knows she's the best. I was always worried about people I might face this guy again. I don't really want to piss him off.
Ooh, he's good.
I've been nice to this guy. He's going to hit me in the face at some point in my career again. So, yeah, she's not worried about that.
No.
You're a bit of a striker, Dan. It's something to behold, isn't it, the way that she strings it together?
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I like to see a bit more of a low kicks in this fight as well. It was nice to see her, using some more of her Muay Thai skills. And, we've not really seen that great deal.
Kickboxing skills as well, yeah.
She didn't start out with them, right? She waited.
And brought them in slowly.
She didn't.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, second round,
somebody's trying to take you down. You don't want to lead with leg kicks, right?
But let's talk about these elbows. I mean, we saw him with Carlos Condit against Thiago Alves recently as well.
Yeah.
That short elbow in the clinch is a
Saw him
fight changer.
with her on the sprawls against Carlos Esparza before.
Yeah. Kind of pioneered that takedown defense.
So, okay, so still the champion. Quite a few options going forward. Jessica Aguilar's fighting Claudia Gadelha. I was speaking with Sean Shelby earlier, and potentially, that is a number one contender fight. There's so many variables.
Because, Joanna needs some time to lay back. So, we'll get a winner of that fight, a little time. Maybe the winner of that fights her,
Yeah, and then we've got JoJo's fighting Beck Rawlins coming up soon. That's a big fight for that division.
Yeah.
Someone's going to move up the rankings from that. And Rose Namajunas was here as well watching the fight. So, I'm sure she's ranked number 4.
About it.
Huh?
I felt.
Were you sat next to her?
I was sitting next to her. I was like, because Rose was on the show with.
Yeah.
And they're kind of buddies. So
yeah. I wonder what she thinks of Joanna's fight against Carla Esparza, given the fact that it was Esparza that beat her in the final. I mean, that's going to be.
I got a lot of thoughts on that fight too, though.
On which one? What?
Rose and Carla.
Yeah.
I feel like Rose broke herself. Like,
she didn't really
look like what she should. She looked brilliant in her fight against
I disagree.
JoJo.
I thought she missed a lot early. She missed, and she forced it. And when she got submitted, she actually shot on Carla. Like, calm down. You don't have to finish every fight. You got 25 minutes. Like, all she had to do, she has the speed advantage on Carla, is touch and move. But she didn't want to touch and move. She wanted a flying ninja kick and jump. And when that stuff didn't land, she kind of broke herself in a that's my 2 cents.
Okay.
Which I'm going to charge you. I'm going to charge like $100 for that.
I'm not giving you 98 cents change.
Some terrible interest rates that we've got here. Some FX stuff here from Forrest Griffin.
It's like
got to earn some coin somehow, right?
We're in money lending here.
So any other standout performances? I think from my perspective, the Tiger Muay Thai gym had a good night, and the Germans had a good night as well. Obviously, Dennis Seaver, that was a tough fight, but standout performances for you, Forrest?
I wouldn't have mind. I'm a big Nick Hine fan. I think he's huge for this demographic, obviously. I wouldn't have minded to see him push the gas a little more in the third round.
Yeah.
I think he was worried. I think he was worried tonight.
He absolutely was worried. I feel like he was under a lot look
He looked at this fight week.
He did. He really did. Like he put too much pressure on himself. And don't open up the first round.
Yeah.
Unless you tag the guy and you see he's hurt. Maybe not even the second round, but the third round, you've won the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Open up.
Yeah, it was a very measured approach, and
it was overly so. Like, even as he won the fight, he won it going backwards.
Yeah.
What was the name of the fella he fought?
Sayevsky. Łukasz Sayevsky.
The Wookiee, yeah. I'm going to call him the Wookiee.
Yeah.
He looked tired and terrified as he charged forward and ate punch after punch and just kept coming. Like, he didn't look like he should ever fight anybody. Right? Like, he didn't look like a fighter at all.
But he's 13-0 coming in.
That's what I liked about him. He's very tough.
Yeah.
But he had a look on his face like, are you going to hit me? And he did hit him. And then he was like,
attacking in straight lines, though. He just couldn't get his hands on Nick Hine. And every time he charged forward, Hine circled off and cracked him.
And
then there
that's
was
the
a left
evolution
hook.
of Nick Hine's game.
Yeah.
That circling off.
Yeah, the rear left hook,
That was it. Yeah.
And then, I think Stipe was like, why'd he throw a naked uppercut? Because...
a naked uppercut.
Yeah, he threw a rear naked uppercut, like with no lead.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, that's not a great idea.
Just making up terminology now.
It's a real thing.
I think I've heard that.
No, you haven't.
It's American.
Just because he's a Hall of Famer, John.
America.
We can't play
He's the new guy on the
in America with a guillotine.
When you don't start with, something else and you throw your immediate, like, high-risk power punch with no setup whatsoever,
that comes naked.
So the reason he did that is because the Wookiee, his defense was to take everything off the top of his head, which...
Hardest part of the head, by the way.
That's what I saw that in the movie Gladiator.
That's the one.
It's got to be true.
I'm going to throw that in comments.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but they were using swords in Gladiator, so you don't want to test that.
Not that one.
The other
that one.
Gladiator, the pre-Gladiator Gladiator. It wasn't that good, but there was that.
It didn't get an Oscar. Definitely didn't get an Oscar.
Yeah, point being, that's why he did that. So, I'm trying to understand why he would throw a naked uppercut. It's because the guy ate everything on the top of his head by putting his head down.
Yeah, he was
and
doing a good job
charging
of
forward.
like dipping to the side as well and throwing it off at a funny angle. Yeah, it was a weird one for me. The fight I was looking forward to from as soon as it was announced was Tysonov.
And
Again,
Patrick.
a Tiger Muay Thai fight. Tysonov looks dangerous. I mean, his only loss in the UFC has been the decision to Prazeres, wasn't it? And he was sick
ill
for that.
Yeah, I think he had staph infection. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what he had. Something similar.
Right.
So it was something. So it was like a bacteria infection. So obviously not contagious. Otherwise, they wouldn't have let the fight go ahead. But
that's the one.
he was told not to fight by the doctors.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about him.
Yeah.
How about Arnold Allen? I like that guy.
Yeah, he was. Well, he slapped that guillotine on in no time at all.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was.
And took the fight on what, a week's notice?
Yeah.
He did know. He did know about the fight. So the matchmakers had been in touch with those guys, and they said, if something happens. But like a week ago, he was literally driving to the drive-through. He was like, KFC is calling me, UFC is not calling me, and so he was going in that direction.
Ago, he was studying for his high school midterm. Because he's obviously 16 years old.
Do you know what I mean? Secretly,
he's in primary school. Come on, he's not
fresh face, isn't he?
Oh my gosh, he's so young. I mean, we're all old. You look old with that beard. I know that's what you're going
that's
for.
That's what I'm doing.
But man,
I look like a child
he's
as well.
like. If this doesn't work out, I think he's got a great career. It's like maybe being in a boy band.
Being a grown-up.
In the future, at some point.
When he has to get a real job.
Career, he'll be a grown-up, but not right now.
The thing is, though, can you imagine training with someone? I actually know this team very well. I've trained down there one time at the BKK Fighters. And
you train?
One time. He said one time.
Up. I said when I say train, I turn up to training. Sit on the mat. It's very hot in those places, so you can still walk out with a sweat. And I was with Sean Carter. I was training with Sean Carter, who was in his corner, and Jack Mason was coaching. Jack's a very good wrestler. He's got really good wrestling for especially for an English guy. Do you know what I mean?
Hey, have you heard this guy? You won't believe he's British.
Yeah,
he's got good wrestling for a British
English
guy.
guys don't wrestle.
There you go.
Have we already not covered that? English guys don't wrestle.
Anyway, can you imagine what it's like sparring this kid who seriously looks like he's
getting beat up by a
just put his satchel down and skipped school to come training, and he's putting a beat down on people. But his athleticism is extraordinary.
But I do. He's got a lot of potential.
He's making a lot of sacrifices for his career as well. I mean, he dropped out of school to do this. He didn't go to college. Apparently, he travels like 1.5 hours to the BKK Fighters. He travels another 45 minutes or something like that to Gracie Barra to do his jits. Yeah. Then he travels like another hour to do his strength and conditioning. So he's motivated.
If he drove like Forrest, though.
Oh, my God. Oh, and by the way, I haven't got my phone on. It's going to take too long to boot up. You have to Google Arnold Allen's car. It is massively... Have you seen this thing?
I have.
It's massively offensive.
That's really his car, though?
Apparently so. Let's just say someone decorated his car, and my parents wouldn't let me drive around. Anyway.
I don't know that the city would, but the Germans, they're real loose about nudity.
Yeah, he's not driving it around in Germany. He's driving it around in the UK, and we're British. We don't like
very
things
uptight.
Like that.
No.
Exactly. Very uptight. We all wear waistcoats, bow ties, and pronounce every letter.
And that's in the sauna.
Yeah.
Waistcoats and bow ties, nothing. Okay. Yeah. No, next fight.
Yeah, moving on.
Go on, you pick one first.
Backstrom.
Yeah, Backstrom.
Close?
Yeah.
He gassed hard.
He did.
Like within the second round, he had like
adrenaline
nothing
maybe,
on his punches.
Maybe. I kind of think he was expecting to get in there and get it done quickly, kind of like his debut. And, he didn't.
Didn't work out for him.
Well, he kind of learnt a lesson on the back of his last fight and said that he wasn't going to underestimate anyone anymore, was going to come in real prepared. Yeah. And wanted to come away with a victory.
He did. I mean, there were some things that were different. I mean, he lowered his chin, he lowered his shoulders a little bit, brought his guard up a bit more. So he started off a bit more disciplined, but then as soon as the fight, started to gather momentum, he got a little bit reckless, and that's where he started to run out of gas.
How good was Lahat?
Yeah, he looked good. He looked really good.
2010 world champion, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. And he's a judo black belt, second degree.
Lahat is.
Yeah, so I was actually, and again,
I thought Nicholas had the advantage on the ground.
He looked very slim.
Beautiful rubber guard in the first round.
Yeah, and
but Lahat just looked so relaxed.
When, that arm bar, I knew he wasn't getting that because I've just seen, like even when he moves before the fight, Nicholas has got like so much flexibility. That, he didn't. Was the thing where you lift weights and you get all tight? He never did that. Smart guy.
Before I
Yeah.
forget the question, best post-fight interview tonight? What do you reckon?
I don't know.
Worst
I
post-fight.
can tell
What
you
was the toughest one?
I
What
can
was
tell
the
you
toughest one? Go,
most
go,
difficult
go on.
was Makwan and Amir Khani.
Really?
That was the most
That
difficult.
was tough, man.
Yeah, because we just
You had to give him his moment. You had no choice.
Yeah,
it was
I had
a
to.
proper emotional time. I've heard his backstory, man. I actually interviewed Amir Khani, and we were both crying. I'm no shame in saying that. What he and his family have been through is truly heartbreaking, and to see where he is now is
was
really
actually-
something.
I was actually gonna mention the fight there, and what he was like. I want to believe. I'm certain that he has the 7th fastest knockout. Now he has the 8th fastest submission.
Is that right?
No. It would be if it were not for the guillotine. He's got like the 8th fastest submission that was not a guillotine.
Yeah. Okay. If we just take the guillotine out entirely.
It's called guillotine.
Ghee.
Ghee, like that fake butter stuff. Ghee.
Oh,
Oh,
like
like in Indian food.
Yeah.
Oteen.
Yeah, the
Has it got
butter.
the dashes in between as well, like a
The
1960s
ghee.
American cleaning product? Guillotine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see
Yeah,
that.
like Ovaltine.
Maybe it's a different submission entirely. We call it a guillotine in Europe because that's how it's spelled. you
Well,
see.
I mean, when you guys are all killing people in the public square, you do.
We've taken off plenty of heads with that. I would
Yeah,
imagine
I
we know how
know,
to
I
say
know.
it.
The Brits are experts on it. French might have you beating it, but it's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
What else in the fight piqued my interest?
Well, Peter Sabota looked good. Remember him? Rear naked choke.
Yeah, so it's funny you say that because I was actually looking for an excuse to bring up Steve way too relaxed Kennedy.
He was-
he
oh,
was
man.
so
Relaxed.
relaxed.
He was so
I was
chill.
like, oh my God, this guy might be the next Anderson Silva. Nope, he's not at all. He's like,
He's relaxed.
he's so relaxed. He's just getting
Just
hit.
funny you should say that because his fight name is Steve Roller.
Steamroller.
Steve Roller.
Yeah.
It's actually Steam Holler because his Brazilian coach. I nearly said that. I know you'd appreciate
I
a little
would.
H. We like an
Oh,
H.
God,
We do.
Like a
he,
Brazilian H.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well,
But
I spoke to.
he was even relaxed. Like after he lost, he was like, the ref, the doctor came over. If you watch it again, it's worth like 1 second of your time. And the doctor come over and he was,
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
good,
all right.
Good. So yeah, he goes out with the relaxed thing. I was like, he must be quick. Nope. Nope. I was expecting like, you don't punch me. You can't hit me. No, he's like, no, yeah, you hit me. I'm still relaxed though, bro.
I listened to a podcast in prep for this, and he sounded like a really cheeky, slightly arrogant and aggressive guy from Australia. I can see him just walking around in his board shorts,
Being
ripped
relaxed.
Those
to
guys
shreds,
living
just
in a sunny
those
place.
guys, enjoying
Oh.
life, all that kind of stuff. And he was
Just busy not being British.
He was, yeah, exactly. Although he
Even
was
though he
born in Watford, which is where I'm from. I need to ask him about that. Anyway, I was expecting something different when I got on the coach the other day, and he's sitting there holding hands with his wife, super laid back about the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I
He
thought that he would.
Maybe too laid back.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, do you know what? It's a long way from Australia.
It is.
I know it killed me when we went over there for
Yeah.
Fight Night Sydney. So
Just coming from Vegas is killing me. Like
Yeah.
that's nothing on Australia, man. Don't
It's-
comment.
it's
Don't take Steve Kennedy's reasoning for his fatigue.
9 + 5 + 120.
My maths right now. I'm sorry.
9 + 5 + 120.
That's how I got here.
Is that like
5,
is that a code
9.
for something?
No, then an hour.
Oh, your
20.
flights. Okay.
Yeah, it was a
okay.
5 hour. And,
Okay.
this is not really important, but
Well, it
yes,
kind of is.
You're
Well, you were
correct.
struggling to stay awake watching his fight, and
Yeah.
he travelled all the way from Australia.
Right.
And he was trying
And
to-
he was still more relaxed than me, even with my
And he has
fatigue
he has
factor.
pro boxing experience as well, and he just didn't look like that he had that kind of.
I'll be honest. Said like judo black belt. I was like, wow.
Yeah, he's got a lot.
Jiu-jitsu black belt. I said, wow.
Yeah,
Fight. I said, wow.
Peter Sabos is a Dean Lister black belt, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black belts and black belts.
He's got a
aren't
legit one.
I rolled with Dean Lister one time. I got a good story, and I was doing really good. And he said, man, Forrest, you're really good. I can't wait to roll with you. I'll come back and roll with you like when my bicep's not torn. And I was like, and he was not like making an excuse. And then I thought about it. I was like, yeah, he didn't use his left arm today. I was like, self-confidence is falling through the floor.
Oops. Okay, so, well, we've broken down a few of the fights. Let's go for a single takeaway that each of us have on the back of what we've seen this evening. It's a landmark event. First world title fight on the Fight Pass. First world title fight that we've called.
Yep.
Very important, that one. So whilst Forrest is refreshing his memory.
First world
Mr.
title
Hardy.
fight in Berlin.
For me, it was Scott Askham. What a great performance. I mean, a beautiful uppercut sent his opponent to the canvas and just kind of followed it up. And he was very confident all week as well. He showed that at the weigh-ins, getting in his opponent's face. And I just really didn't know what to expect from that fight, to be honest, because it's such an interesting matchup given the fact that one is considerably taller and more rangy than the other. And obviously, Dos Anjos is a thick, strong. Yeah, he looked like he was being carried around the octagon by two of Alpha Male's team.
Santos, not Anjos.
Santos.
Yeah,
I
think it's an Anjos.
Antonio Dos Santos.
Rather than the champ.
Okay. But you were saying Doi.
Dois.
Okay.
Dois.
See, I just can't keep.
I try and get it right,
Yeah.
More importantly, though,
I've got Johanna Jacek. I've got that down.
You got that.
I've been studying Goldie's work.
What you got, Forrest?
Dennis Seaver loss.
That's your biggest takeaway?
It was just that would be the thing that I did not expect.
Okay.
Yeah, I was expecting him to win by decision. I thought it'd go the distance, given the fact that Kawajiri is so tough. But yeah,
he's still 37.
I know. And
but then again,
he got a late start as well, didn't he? It was him
36.
watching Hoost in K1 that got him inspired to take up combat sports. That's what it said in his bio, apparently.
Who's that? Sorry,
Kawajiri.
Inspired by Ernesto Hoost.
Which is
really?
cool.
Oh yeah, no, he was sitting up in the crowd somewhere,
like
cheap seats,
in the cheap seats. Yeah,
yeah.
Mine's Alan Patrick's hair.
Yeah, he was a skinhead 2 weeks ago.
I was so confused. I didn't think it was him on Fight Week. Is it that hair?
Yeah.
I wish my hair grew as quickly as his. In fact, I'm going to check out what shampoo he's got in his toilet bag, because that's that's for a I'll pay a premium for that.
He threw a little capoeira in there.
He did, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, for the sake of throwing it, maybe. I don't know. It didn't look like he was in the range to land it.
Maybe it throws your opponent
Can
off.
you do that for us again?
I probably can, actually.
Exactly the same note. Would have been good.
Maybe.
So where are you going next?
To the pub.
Yeah.
No, like next event. Are you at next week's event?
No. I'm actually going to go to Dallas for a little work thing, and then I go down and go to Black Zillions and ATT and talk about the new drug policy we're rolling out, and just kind of try and inform some guys about that. And really just study up on that myself. And
you
then,
actually got a job now. This is actually like a
I
real
really
job.
like working too.
Yeah? And you got business cards
I got business
an
cards.
office
I got
at the
a
UFC?
computer now, a legit computer, an email.
What, one that you can take home?
No. I just I use my phone at home.
Much.
And then, in the office I use the computer. And then I got a couple of people I work with that I send them my emails. And then they make them sound readable to this is like a thing. I'm like, all right, here's what I want to say. I would say, and then they make them make sense. Just like writing a book.
I could do with one.
Get other people to do the work for you.
Yeah, and you a published author as well.
Yeah. Did you probably didn't. You were busy, working, doing an awesome job, both of you, seriously.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's legit. Although I did not hear you on this fight, I've heard you before, and you were good there. So you could have been horrible tonight. I don't know.
I actually felt like it was rusty tonight, from my perspective. Seriously, I was like,
No, it's hard, right? It's like you lose the rhythm, maybe.
Yeah, long gaps between shows. But
the point being,
sorry, get the point.
My book's translated in German.
Really?
I got that going.
Oh wow!
And
did you bring it with you? Is that what? It's got like that second suitcase was.
It's like die something. I'm like, yeah, we got die in the title of my book. I don't know what that means. It's awesome. Yeah. I think that's
exciting for you. Internationally published now.
Yeah. You know what? I'm so too cool for school that I didn't even get a picture of my book in German. So I'm gonna do it. I don't care.
Have you got a copy of it though?
No. In German, no.
You can't read it though, can you? Can you read the English version?
I traveled.
It's funny you should say that, because we have right here.
Yeah.
It's a little thank you.
I traveled via carry-on, man. These are the nicest clothes I brought.
Yeah.
I was going to comment on your attire.
I
this
don't
evening.
have to wear like suits to these events. Only in Vegas. I don't travel with suits.
Why not over here, man? Why don't you wear the suits? Why
I don't
you-
travel with them because I travel in a carry-on. I don't check bags. It's not a thing I do. I literally go all over the world, and I'm bad
You're
at things
a big
like
dude.
ice
How
skating.
can you just have a carry-on?
Socks and underwear. You really don't need that much else. And then I've told you, like, my trick. After I work out, I jump in the pool fully clothed, lay those clothes out, and then wear damp clothes in the gym the next day.
I believe that.
I've
trained with this guy. I believe that.
No. But I'm a very hygienic person. There's chemicals in the pool. This is what I learned, like,
Not cleaning products, though. Not cleaning products in the pool.
They kill everything. It's chlorine, bro. It kills people if inhaled, you know? But I did enjoy Berlin. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Great fights. I guess that's it.
Yeah, I guess that's it. Dan, what are you up to? Have you got some days off?
Probably a day, I think, maybe. Then we've got to start researching, ready for the breakdowns for 189.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
We've got a big
I'm
announcement as
excited
well
to
on
give
Inside
my
the Octagon
prediction
coming up
about
as well,
that main
which I'm pretty
event.
excited about.
The what?
Something about a landmark for Inside the Octagon.
Yes.
Which we'll hold down for now,
It's
but
been
that's
doing rather well.
yeah.
Okay, so
We do it like an analyst show. We kind of pull the fights apart and talk about it. Yeah.
I'm familiar.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
familiar. Yeah.
He's all over the content.
He's across it now.
Into-
The corporate
into-
bunny, very different from we met you out in
Yeah,
London.
I wanted to do like something similar. You know how like I don't know, you didn't watch ever like American football, but they do like a thing like where this famous coach like breaks down and does like with the marks and here and here. Remember I saw when something that struck me when what's his name punched the guy in the body to set up the rear naked. What was his name? I don't know the name.
Yeah, Gunnar Nelson.
Gunnar Nelson, remember? I saw
yeah.
that one, and I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I could totally do your job. I was like, I totally would like do that, except there's like names you have to remember, and I could not possibly do that.
Yeah, I screwed up a few names tonight. Alan Arnold and Arnold. Arnold. No, hang on.
Arnold,
So
Alan,
hard, man.
Just
and
too
Alan
many.
Oma.
Alan
You know,
Oma.
but for what it's worth, you have the toughest. Like you having this like area, these are the toughest names in the world.
They are. Although
I don't know,
Asia, though.
I think Brazil and Asia is pretty damn tough.
I don't know. I guess I've just been,
I
I've
sympathise
been
with John.
around Brazil so much that I kind of get it. You know.
Yeah.
You got any Portuguese in your locker?
Negative.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Short answer to that one. So we've got some Portuguese. Relax.
Relax.
Yeah.
So we need.
Learned that off Joe Rogan. He was
Acai.
translating for us.
That's what you order.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu.
There you go.
That will carry you well.
Look at the jiu-jitsu. I was actually I was at like a jiu-jitsu seminar years ago, and it was right after 9/11.
It's like, this man loves a story, man, doesn't he? He's like Jack and
Oh,
Nori.
God, I suck with the story. I'm sorry. Yeah, anyway, the guy's like, oh, you teach the flight attendants it's jiu-jitsu. No 9/11's Brazil. You teach jiu-jitsu. Everybody knows jiu-jitsu. You teach the flight. Everybody. No, nobody take the play. No, it's jiu-jitsu, man. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Can't disagree with him,
I
though.
was like, oh, let's teach flight attendants jiu-jitsu. Okay, all right.
And on that note, Forrest, thank you for joining us here on UFC Octagonside Reaction. Dan, thanks to you too. And we'll do this all again when Dan and I get a chance to go back on the telly box with a microphone. So see you next time.